So if you've been following the news lately around Battlefield 2042, or if you follow creators like JackFrags or Westy, you'll know that Battlefield 2042 has a rather large update coming the week of April 18th, Update 4.0. I don't want to go into too many details other than to say that it features over 400 individual fixes, some vehicle balancing, some specialist balancing, voice chat, and the post-game scoreboard. Additionally, a member of DICE tweeted that nearly everyone is still working on the game, but I'll comment more on that later. One of the first things I want to talk about is the general reception and sentiment I've seen on Twitter regarding this update. Westy sent out a tweet that reads, "If it's true that nearly all of the DICE team is still working on Battlefield 2042, then that's showing some serious commitment. I just don't think all those players the game has lost are waiting for the turnaround. I think we're too far gone, but I'd love to be proven wrong." To which Darko, a tech lead from DICE, replied, "In my eyes, the turnaround is important for us as devs, independently of what that means in the big picture. If anything, we all want to see a game that we can be proud of." From there, the user going by Rook added, "I love the franchise, but there's no way the turnaround is going to happen within 2042. A new game with a similar setting that's learned from past mistakes? Maybe, but the 2042 ship has sailed and sank. I don't think there's a No Man's Sky style comeback waiting to happen." And then Darko finishes with, "Yep, I see your point, but I have a different perspective. Everything we do right in a technical sense now will be there for the future, even if it's not apparent immediately. That is what is important for me right now." One of the things that this indicates to me is that DICE is well aware of a lot of the issues surrounding the game and the negative reception, and that a lot of the developers are likely heads down, hard at work to bring this game up to a respectable standard. They want to make something that they're proud of as much as we want something that's worth playing. I'm sure by the phrase "nearly all of DICE," this is more meant to dispel the rumors that the developers have completely abandoned 2042 in order to work on future content. Nearly all likely just means everyone who would have been responsible for the game's maintenance and live service even if the game were successful. And maybe even more people on top of that to work on additional improvements. We all know that the game, aside from content issues, has a lot of technical issues that need to be resolved, so I wouldn't be surprised if there are more developers helping out in that sense. I think it's easy to forget that a lot of real, everyday people worked on this game, and I'm sure many of them are as disappointed in the final product as the rest of us. They were likely subject to changing concepts, tight deadlines, and a lack of creative direction that resulted in a game that is likely not representative of the talent at DICE and the vision some of the developers wanted to create. There have been a lot of rumors that 2042 was initially supposed to be a battle royale and got switched over to a standard Battlefield game, and I'm sure that really contributed to the product that we got once it did release. It's probably EA executives that are making a lot of these decisions to the detriment of the game, not DICE developers. End of the day, EA and DICE are beholden to their shareholders, and a lot of decisions go into what's best for the shareholders, and that usually comes to the detriment of the player. Things like releasing the game too early or shoehorning in mechanics that are trendy are all things that probably look good to shareholders on paper, but to the hardcore fan base look bad. Whether or not this all means that 2042 can pull off a comeback remains to be seen. I doubt they'll ever capture the hype and adoration of the FPS community with 2042, especially after that poor first impression, but I do believe that if DICE and Ripple Effect provide a lot of tools and persistent servers to Portal, as well as making real progress in the performance and input latency issues, that 2042 can become a respectable game. I've said it since the beginning that Portal just has so much potential, and with more content and tools, the community can essentially make the modernized BF3 so many fans have been asking for. I truly believe that no game is beyond saving. It just is a matter of whether the studios want to funnel enough money and resources into the game to improve it and bring it up to the standard that the gamers expect. Obviously, No Man's Sky was able to pull that off, and this is the most common comparison made to 2042, and it remains to be seen if DICE and EA and Ripple Effect will do this as well. A lot of these tweets from Darko and other developers on Twitter really give me a lot of hope for the passion behind the development of this game. It can be really heartbreaking when someone else meddles with your vision and the work that you're doing on an artistic project, something that's representative of you and your skills, and I'm sure a lot of the developers feel like they've gotten a bad rap so far. Interestingly, this Update 4.0 also seems to be coming a little later than expected. There was never an exact release date given, but the timeline of early April was the initial word in one of the devlogs. We're now firmly in mid-April, approaching late April. This delay, along with the one made to seasonal content, which also has a sort of vague timeline of late summer rather than a concrete date, gave me an interesting idea. Now, this is just pure speculation here. I don't have any real evidence to go off of. I haven't heard any concrete rumors or anything like that, but I wonder if these delays are due to DICE and EA scrapping large portions of seasonal content. I really do wonder if the initial content like skins, maps, and other cosmetics leaned more into that lighthearted Overwatch style rather than the grittiness most players prefer. My tinfoil hat theory is that right now they're heavily reworking a lot of the seasonal content based on fan feedback and criticism, and the delays have been necessary to give the developers enough time to nearly start from scratch with all of this. Maybe the statement about all members of the team still working on the game implies that even more people are redesigning this content than there otherwise would have been. I can definitely see a circumstance where the developers and executives looked at all of this feedback and realized that they would only get more negativity if they released the content that they already had made. I'm holding out some hope that 2042 can be recovered in some way, but if not, I'm still enjoying following all the news regarding this game. I've never seen anything quite like this in the gaming industry. There are always comparisons to No Man's Sky, but even that game was not quite at the scale of 2042 with the marketing and the built-in fan base around Battlefield. I'd love to hear from all of you though. What do you think about my theory? Do you think 2042 is beyond saving? Do you think all of this talk is just more fluff, or does it give you a bit of hope for the future of Battlefield 2042? And Battlefield as a franchise? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like. And if you didn't, leave a dislike so I know I need to change something. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video.